Welcome to the celebrated nightly news of Calaveras County. My name is John.
And I'm Kim.
And we thank you for stopping by on a Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
It is hump day.
It is hump day. Yes,
so, if you are looking, well, since most people have Friday off as official holiday, maybe it's, so today's like actually Thursday.
Yeah, it is, but we're not doing our weekend entertainment edition tonight.
We're doing that tomorrow night.
Yes. So
right.
We don't want to confuse you or anything.
So
right.
It is hump day.
There is a lot, yes, so it's hump day, yes.
It is.
Technically hump day.
And we would like to thank Middleton's for being our sponsor tonight for tonight's news.
Thank you very much.
And they have everything you need.
Yes, they do. Everything.
Just about.
They have such nice furniture in there.
They do.
Appliances and all kinds of stuff. They have a Hallmark store.
Like I said. All right. And one more little thing we want to touch on is, as most of you know, as of the 1st of July, it is now hands-free mandatory.
So now you see all these people with their Bluetooths.
Yes, and I have a little Bluetooth headset as well, but I've actually kind of like the old-fashioned non-Bluetooth.
Oh,
because
you do? So what are you doing?
If people have followed the site, they'll know that we've been using one of the it's a what's called an HTC 6800, which is a smartphone that has Windows on it. In fact, this phone's smarter than I am.
And who makes this phone, John?
This is HTC.
Okay, HTC.
This is HTC.
Right.
That's the name of the company.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And locally, you can get this from vendors like Golden State Cellular, but also Sprint and some of the others have variants of them as well, even AT&T, I believe. But the nice thing about this is I'm getting towards middle age, right? So
in about, let me see, how many more days?
I don't know, but this looks
21
like
days?
See, you can actually look like you're
beyond
cool.
middle age.
You can look like you're cool because you can have the headset here, and you remember the old iPod commercials where they're doing the thing. But what's actually worked is, I can actually be listening to something like a book on tape,
a motivational.
Or something like that. You never know. Or I could be listening to music, and then when then all of a sudden the call comes in. I answer my call or place a call.
What happens if you don't want to take the call?
You just click ignore, and I only do that if she's calling. That's the only one. Typically, I take most other calls, but if I see it's her number, it's like, nah, all right.
Don't want to talk to her again.
But anyway, just as a reminder, now you need a hands-free device, but also this may be an opportunity to go expand your horizons and maybe upgrade your phone, because this makes it pretty cool. Like you can have, you can be doing the whole thing, and all of a sudden your phone call will come in. You go, oh yes, thank you very much. Next Tuesday's good. Does 9:30 work for you? Yes, thank you very much. Okay, and then you can go back, and then it pauses for like 5 seconds, and then automatically goes back.
I don't see many people that have I see the Bluetooths. I don't see many of these, but you're the old-fashioned kind of guy.
Well, it's kind of the retro thing. And
so are you going to get a moped next?
I probably should.
He's talked about it, and
yes.
I said, if you get a moped, it'll take you like 4 hours to get to San Andreas from Angels Camp. So really, that's not very practical for us being in news, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
How fast can you go on those things?
Or we like to concentrate on like breaking news. So maybe if we do the moped,
we don't want a moped style news.
Well, you could get a fast moped, right?
I don't know. But you're
anyway,
awful big to go on a moped too. I think it'd look kind of funny.
It wouldn't be a good look. No. 250-pound man on a moped, just not a
pretty sight.
Not a pretty sight. But that does segue to what we were at tonight. This is also segues into one of the reasons we like to do the news at 10 o'clock, is that we give you the very latest happenings in the county.
Right up to the minute.
That's right. So we got back probably 15 minutes ago from the monthly Calaveras County Council of Governments meeting. And you may recall last month they unveiled a spiffy new green car.
Yes, they did.
And a spiffy new green hybrid.
Which is right for rideshare, right?
It is. I guess I could take these out of my ears.
Are you listening to music or motivational?
We're multitasking. Are
you listening to a motivational?
We're listening to a book on tape
e-book?
During the news. Yes, no. It's all right. We're going, we could do a better news. We could do a better news. This
is going to work. This is going to work.
That's it.
Darn
anyway.
it. It's going to work.
All right. Because we want, and whatever political side of the aisle you're on, this news before we get to the COG stuff is just stunning. For those of you who don't know, Rush Limbaugh signed for $400 million yesterday.
For what? I mean, for what? To
continue doing his show out through 2016, I believe.
The same company?
Yes.
Okay.
And he will actually, well, I didn't look into the details of it. I just saw the number.
Oh, okay.
My eyes rolled back in my head and I moved on. But one of the things is the interesting thing is it makes him higher paid than they rattled off a list of most of the, well, anyway.
Does he make more than Oprah?
I don't know about Oprah, but it's close. Because he makes more than most of the other network broadcasters and everything else combined.
Wow.
He works out to $38 million a year.
And he just doesn't he just work out of his home, or does he?
Yeah, he works out of his house. So that's our goal. Not to always be politically like Rush Limbaugh, but see, we can work out of our house
and make $400 million a year.
40. All we need to do is make $40 million a year.
$40 million a year.
Yeah, so that's the goal.
That would be really.
The goal is we're going to sit here out of our house and make $40 million a year.
Yes.
Right. But
all right.
We have an audience size problem because Rush currently, what do they say? Something like 25 million people a week.
We're not there yet.
Close. I know we've already, as we've joked about, I think we're closing on Katie Couric.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, you tuned in for news.
She's too stuffy, I think, Katie Couric.
She's too stuffy?
She's too stuffy. She's
so are you
Since
going...
she moved to Channel... Now, I haven't even been following it. Is she still with Channel 10, or is she over to Fox?
She's still with CBS.
Okay, CBS.
Yeah.
I think since she changed, she's quite boring.
And just
actually,
Channel 10's here locally.
Okay. But
so she's with CBS.
Okay, but I think since she's...
Now, are you going for that whole perky thing?
I'm just who I am on the news.
Is it you going for that perky
person? I'd rather be. I think she's boring now.
Do you think you have more of a morning show personality?
Like The View? The View Calavera style?
The View Calavera style. All right. Okay. On to some actual news.
We have a whole lot to talk about, right?
We do, though.
Okay.
All right. And this is a big deal.
This is a big deal. It's very exciting.
This is something they've been working on for over a year. Representatives from a consulting firm called Stantec were at the COG, the Calaveras County Council of Government meeting tonight, and where they approved, and this also has to go on to the Board of Supervisors, get rolled into the general plan, but it is one of these really, the only bad thing about the COG, and I think they would agree with this, is they have kind of acronym problems.
What does
that mean? What I mean.
Yes. COG.
Because they're the COG, but it is the Calaveras County Council of Governments, which sounds very vague.
Yes.
And then also they passed the Arnold Rural Livable Mobility Plan tonight.
They did pass
and they adopted they adopted the Arnold Rural Livable Mobility Plan. And what this is, it is a transportation document, but it encompasses more than that. Because it is also because we like to talk about economic development, and this also has an economic development theme.
Yes.
And where is my chart?
Uh-oh, you're not prepared because you just got
I am prepared. We pulled this up before.
Good job, John.
We did. Here it is. All right, here is our handy-dandy PDF.
Blue notebook.
Easy. All right, here we go. The handy-dandy. And you'll see that. There we go. And this is the hand, and this is what this is this is a map of Arnold. And what they want to do is break it down into zones and make Arnold more of a foot and pedestrian and bicycle friendly environment. And the idea is to build a core downtown center. And if you have been through Arnold, you will know that Arnold sometimes has a problem of not having any there.
There's separate areas in Arnold.
There are distinct and overlapping zones. If you're along the golf course here, you have kind of the old town Arnold, and then you have the new town Arnold down by Big Trees. But the idea is to have lots of different little
Have
zones.
maybe a one-town Arnold would be nice.
Make it cohesive.
Yes, exactly.
Bring it together. Also beautify it
Make
at
it
the
more
same
livable,
time.
right.
A couple of things were on some of the bike and pedestrian paths. It was all specifically written in that they do not have to run parallel to existing roads.
Okay.
So they can actually have paths that meander
Wow.
around. And the interesting thing is this process went well enough that parts of it, or the process for it, is already starting to be incorporated into San Andreas. They're going to work on some of these
really?
things.
Great.
And also Bear Valley is using some of the pieces from this as in their updates. Angels Camp has its own kind of parallel beautification process things. But the nice thing about this is now, the interesting thing about the COG, and this is one of those things where people are like, oh, what's the COG? What's the COG?
I love that name, the COG.
The COG. Now, once these plans get adopted, they can get rolled into the general plans, but also the COG is very good at, it may take them a few years,
But they get
stuff
done.
funded.
Yes, they do.
Well, they
get
find
stuff
money.
done. Yes,
they find
do.
little piles of
They're good
grant
at
money,
that.
little bits and
They
pieces
must
of
have good
stuff.
people working there. What do you think?
I think they might.
I think they
All
do.
right, and so this is the different zones. They're looking at a 5-minute walk by car, 10-minute walk, and this is what they're looking as a 20-minute walk. So they're basically trying to get everything tied together. So very cool. And we will let's go back here and look really quick. And on the overview of why this is important.
Okay.
Residents and employers, and this came up too on also because of just gas
Can I have a
prices.
pretzel while I'm listening to you chat?
No, you can't
I
have
can't eat
pretzel.
on air?
No, drinking, we're already going way over the line. Pretzels,
A Starbucks once every night. We have our sisters.
pretzel's not going to cut
treat.
it.
It's
All
not
right,
gonna cut it.
residents
Can't
and
eat a
employers are
pretzel.
increasingly seeking communities where attractive destinations, workplaces, and amenities are within a comfortable, safe, and convenient walking or biking distance from homes. Vibrant, pedestrian-friendly activity centers located close to residential areas, i.e. customers, can create and retain jobs, improve retail sales, strengthen the tax base, and attract tourism and its associated revenues.
Okay.
Thriving public spaces increase opportunities for residents to interact. Hey, how's it going? Creating a strong sense of community and providing a civic forum for community functions and interactions. How's it going?
How's it going?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Livable communities increase safety through the frequent presence of people to keep a watchful eye on the businesses and homes, reducing opportunities for vandalism, aggressive behavior, crime. Livable communities are also designed for people with reduced traffic speed, volume,
Okay.
and noise, which can increase property values and quality of life.
Okay. Sounds
How's
good.
it going? Yeah, anyway, so this was we thought was a very cool project. We've been following this along since its inception. If you want to go to, we need to make sure, remind me to put a link up to the plan. We'll have
Okay.
a copy of the plan that you can find on the pinetree.net or also on the Calaveras County Council of Governments website.
Yes.
And I would just Google Calaveras COG, because if you try to remember all of that, it's never going to happen. No? All right. So, anyway, that
news.
was kind of the big thing tonight. And also tonight, which we didn't get to because we were at the
Now,
COG.
what is this other thing? Since we're on the subject of the COG, what is this? We have this by Tyler Somerset.
I haven't
wanna
followed
click
that
read
much,
more.
but go ahead and read it.
Well, I only have part of it.
Well, that's not
let's
going to
see.
help us.
The Calaveras Council of Governments has released an initial report on the base case, or
Okay.
existing conditions, in the county's 1996 general plan. The county's population can be expected to nearly double by the year 2050.
Got it.
This may cause potentially significant impacts on the county's agricultural lands and traffic congestion if current growth trends continue in the future. The benefit of the upland model, which is capital UPLAN,
Yes,
or is it UPlan?
I believe it's U-Plan.
UPlan model, is that it allows planners to run different land use scenarios based on a wide range of policies and readily ascertain through impact analysis reports, data, outputs, and mapping. I was just wondering, I don't know a whole lot about this, and I was
Okay.
wondering if you did. Do you?
Oh, it's a long-range planning
Okay,
study.
okay,
Which
all right.
they'll probably more,
Okay.
they like to plan really far out.
But they're,
one of the things they talked
they're
about.
very organized there, very good
They
at
are.
it.
And
Yes,
one of the things
very
they were talking
impressed.
about is, because they were talking about pools of money. They were already planning out to fiscal, I think, 10-11 and also 12-13.
Wow.
And they already had funds allotted for those. They just couldn't spend them yet until they
Okay.
get to the fiscal cycle.
Good job.
Other things that
Good job, Cog.
other things that came up on this is one of the things that was a little. He also did a Angels Camp bypass update.
Tim McSorley?
Nope. This was from.
The consulting firm.
No.
Oh. Tyler?
No. Scott Moss
Oh, okay.
from Scott Moss and Associates.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. And he brought everybody up to speed on Angels Camp bypass stuff. Angels Camp bypass is ahead of schedule, and
Great.
if you've been
They're
watching
big.
it,
That's amazing.
they're fast.
Yes.
Tiny bit over budget,
Tiny
not
bit?
significant.
Okay.
And the reason it's over budget right now is because of all those artifacts they were looking for.
Yes.
So, if you remember, they had the tent city set up out in west of east of Angels Camp
Yeah.
for a while. They were
digging for
artifacting.
gold. Or digging for gold. You saw people out there digging for gold when you were there, right?
Yeah, but not on that spot.
Oh, okay.
They were artifacting, looking for Indian artifacts and anything like that. And I think they did find some.
Okay.
And if you'll notice now, the spot they were digging is now under about 100 feet of dirt.
Okay. All right.
Right? Other things on that is that were brought up is...
And they're way ahead. It's amazing how fast they're getting that done.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it.
One of the things they brought up was they were talking about beautification, and this is where it was kind of funny because Marita Calloway, as most of you know, is a fan of trees.
Yes.
And John Ellis, who is also from the Arnold
Well, we
area,
all like trees, don't we? They're pretty.
right? But
I like
he's
trees.
also more on the conservative side,
Mhm.
and he actually brought up beautification of the bypass as one of his things, and she applauded him because he was talking trees before she was.
Because it needs some trees.
Because what they were talking about is they
Maybe put lots of flowers on it.
because if you're coming down Murphy's Grade Road, the new bypass there, it's a big wall.
yes,
it's a big dirt wall.
It's a little bit of an eyesore, yeah.
What they're talking about is it's not technically
So
in
are
the
they gonna
plan,
make it
but there may
pretty?
need to be in some of the community involvement. Because one thing is if they planted trees, if they staggered oak trees and some of the other stuff along that there, it would actually make the wall seem visually shorter, break it up with a little bit of contrast. The typical stuff they're doing on erosion control will have, this is what Tim McSorley was talking about, it will have flower seed mixed in with the grass
good.
seed, so
It'll
you
be
probably
pretty.
will see some flowers along there
Oh,
anyway.
wow, it's going to be pretty then.
Some I don't know. I don't know if you're ever going to make that thing pretty.
No, I think it will. Yeah, I think it will eventually.
I mean, it's good that it's here, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's from purely aesthetics. It's got challenges. And I think that's safe to say. It's ahead of schedule. We're glad it's here. Aesthetically, not
I don't
so
think
much.
anybody realized how big it was going to be when they.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe good for the overall economy, but aesthetics, not so much. No?
Okay.
Okay.
So
All
did
right.
everybody anything else at this meeting?
They did, as a matter of fact. The other thing is you may hear bandied about in the news is the Wagon Trail
Yes.
Realignment Project.
Yes.
Now, the Wagon Trail Realignment Project is actually the straightening of the twisties between Angels Camp and Copperopolis. Looks like they're going to have to break this into a couple different pieces.
Okay.
So that's still years out, but that's still going
That would
forward.
be nice though when they get that done. Because
It
nowadays
would.
it's like, whoa, getting a little car sick.
Yes, and the first part of the
And
meeting...
John always wants to take that way, doesn't he?
And the first part of the meeting, the gallery was fairly packed, quite packed.
Was there any action?
There was.
Like some people had projected?
They took testimony and adopted this is the unmet transit needs
Okay.
study,
Okay.
and where they took testimony from the public on what are the unmet transit needs. There was a lot of different sessions. Is the ridership for the county transit system is actually skyrocketing right
Which
now.
we have an article.
And yes, it segues into that, but
Yes.
also it is. So I think they're looking at one of the first times that it's not paying for itself completely yet, but I think it's
I think it will.
it's getting fuller and fuller.
Mhm.
That's probably grammatically bad, but anyway, no. And they was talking about this, so people, and they were looking at a couple things that people were talking about tonight. Is a lot of the routes are full at the beginning of the morning, afternoons, commute times. They're looking at adding some midday routes for people who have to shop. They're trying to make
Each bus
better.
is air conditioned with very comfortable seats, which makes your ride even more enjoyable.
There we go. All
Did
right.
you know that?
There you go. We'll segue over to Hannah's
Okay.
article.
Can I quick read more, though? Am I going to get in trouble? Will it slow down our broadcast?
No, go ahead.
Let me see. Are you one of the thousands of people who think
There's no video on
gas
it, right?
prices are too high? Not yet.
All right.
If you are, then you need to check out our local transportation system, the Calaveras County Transit.
And
It's
we
an
have 9
inexpensive
minutes.
transportation located in the beautiful foothills. Each bus is air conditioned with very comfortable seats. With gas prices soaring to almost $5 per gallon, the Calaveras Transit is a perfect opportunity to save money or to transport you and your family to wonderful destinations. Let me see here. The rates are as follows. One way is $1.50 regular and 75 cents discounted. Lodi pass is $3 regular and $1.50 discounted. All day pass is $4
There we go.
regular and not available for discounts. Ticket book $20
So you can just
for
get
regular.
on it and
Ticket
ride around
book.
all day for $4
Yeah.
if you're bored.
All routes operate Monday through Friday except holidays. On Hannah's route, she actually took the bus from Copperopolis. And let me see. We had a scheduled. Let me see. Our route to Copperopolis, we had a scheduled route deviation. A route deviation is a pickup or drop off at locations that are between regular scheduled stops. You may request deviations up to up to a 3/4 of a mile from the route at no extra charge. Number of deviations may be limited in order to maintain the schedule. They have 6 different
Very
routes:
cool.
Valley Springs, Railroad Flat, San Andreas, Arnold, Angels Camp, and San Andreas. And these go to various locations throughout the county. They ask that you carry exact change, as the bus drivers do not carry any.
They don't carry change?
No alcoholic beverages.
Oh, man.
No wet clothing. That's on the bus.
So you can't drink and you can't soil yourself. Man, that is
no
just...
offensive language, so there I won't be allowed.
God, I mean, you just...
No violence or vandalism. And shirts and shoes must be worn at all times. Music is allowed only through headphones. There you go. You've got your, got your tune.
All right.
Okay. So actually, it's becoming quite popular.
Okay. If you love the local stuff, and this is from Clark Broadcasting, David Roy Stanton. 30-year-old David Roy Stanton was sentenced today on the murder of John Stephen Flaherty that was occurred on August 25 of last year. Mm-hmm. And this was in the, you may recall, this happened in Murderer's Gulch over in Tuolumne County, but both of these men were Calaveras County residents.
Okay.
And he was sentenced 15 years for conviction of second-degree murder, an additional 25 years for a gun enhancement charge. So for 40 years, there is not a possibility of parole. So he will be eligible to get out when he is 75 years old.
Okay.
Okay. Also, this is kind of a sad, bizarre indication of the times we live in. In Kentucky, and no Kentucky jokes, please, a woman was arrested, and also the John was arrested too, for solicitation of prostitution, and the payment was in gas. So gasoline. So she was willing to give it all away. Well, sell it all for a $100 Speedway gas card.
That's sad.
All right. So, and if you're doing that in gallons, she was willing to do almost anything for 25 gallons of gas.
That's very sad. I mean, she needed the gas that bad. It's sad, actually.
So that is kind of an indication of the times we live in.
Calaveras County Planning Commission is back in action Thursday morning. Did you know that? With a very light agenda.
I did not know.
They are meeting tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. They have some public hearings on the agenda. Let me see. The first is a CEQA review of grading plan for the Highway 4 bypass overburden disposal site for Tykert construction.
All right.
Okay. The second one is regarding the planned development for Norreed Family Properties LLP. It sounds like that's all that's on the agenda for tomorrow.
Okay. All right. And also one little more on state news, if you've been following this. The entire town of Big Sur has been ordered to evacuate because of advancing fires. We talked to Cal Fire's Lisa Williams from the Tuolumne Calaveras Unit's Command Center earlier today. She's very nice. She does her job very well. And also, we were asking her how many local firefighters are working on some of the other out-area fires. And there's about 350 firefighters now from our area that are working on the Whiskey Fire. There's about 75 on the Big Sur Fire. The Big Sur Fire is technically a federal fire, so most of that's Forest Service lands. And also what she wanted to stress is they're doing we still have assets here, so they're covered. They still have full staffing here and everything else, but they have...
How many acres have burned so far in Big Sur? Quite a bit?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think it's... That whole complex over there was I think it's like 50-some thousand.
That's right, it's right along the ocean there,
right? I think it's like 58,000 acres. 81 square miles.
Oh, my gosh, it's so beautiful there.
81 square miles. And
we've stayed there, and we camped there before.
Yeah, I mean, in years past, we even lived close to it.
We lived close to it.
Anyway,
yes,
Big Sur's been evacuated. Okay, quick rundown on stuff here. A couple little... We
had a concert tonight.
Which we went to the COG instead.
Well, I think Hannah went to the concert.
Oh, she did?
I'm not sure, but I think she did. They had another music in the parks this evening at the Mountain Ranch Community Park. And that was going on this evening.
All right, and we are down to
2
minutes. Anything else you want to touch there?
Let me see. There were some cows out today. Do you want to talk about this? Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you may have seen this in the national news. They orders the National Guard to deploy. So basically they are sending 1,100 National Guard troops to wildland fire training, which is interestingly enough, probably exactly the same thing that Hannah's husband recently completed.
Yes.
And also, since there's been some doom and gloom locally, if you're not feeling quite up to it, Moaning Caverns now has announced they now have a Superman-style zip line. So you can, which basically...
You know what? You need to wear the Superman costume that we have, and you need to go do it.
Not the costume we have, no, but I may go try this. Basically, you put all the harnessing in the back, and then you basically fly off the platform.
Can you put like a head cam on?
I'm going to try.
Okay, tomorrow?
So they basically... Not tomorrow. But they fly off the platform, and from we were talking to Steve Fairchild, the owner, he says it's quite addictive because literally you feel like you're flying. I mean, it's...
I bet our kids, I bet Granger would love that.
I know, we can't talk pricing, but...
I was just curious.
Yeah, it's not inexpensive, but I think they do have a press discount.
Okay, they have a press discount. All right.
I think we could do it. And also, quick little thing on weather. Okay, we are looking at...
That's all I know.
Start Arnold, 63, 90, 61, 86, 87, 92 on Sunday, so looks like good weather there. 50, 79, 75, 48, 77, so perfect weather in Bear Valley. And another little thing on Bear Valley this weekend, they will be unveiling and taking tours of the new condominium project up there. So, down in Murphy's, 59, 93, 56.
There's that blazing
90,
sun.
and the 98 on Sunday. And we'll look at our clock
One
here.
thing I wanted to mention real quick, CHP is going to be on full maximum enforcement.
Good night.
Okay.
Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.